Hello, happy Monday. Today's Monday Musings is going to be about self-care and all the implications of that phrase and different terms that we might prefer, and about where we can find our power and make change. So to start us off, I just want to warn you, I have some notes here, so I'm going to be looking at those from time to time because I can't remember all these things in my head. And I want to make sure you're getting the best out of this. So, first off, I want you to slow down as you're watching this. Just take a few minutes. If you're doing dishes while you're watching this, or if you're doing something else, if you are able to, take a pause and a breath. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Just notice how your body feels. If there's tension, if there's anything else. This noticing, I want you to come back to this throughout today's talk. So check in with yourself. Take a minute. How does your body feel? Now, moms need self-care. Did that change how your body feels? Is there anything coming up for you? We may feel a sense of release, like oh yeah, we do. We may feel judgment, like how am I supposed to fit that in? Whatever you feel, whatever came up for you, or maybe you just heard it and were like, okay, moving on. I just want you to be aware of that. So keep coming back to this awareness. Pause the video as you need. And just let whatever comes up, just let it come up. You know, if you want to jot down some things, that's great too. So, what is self-care? And if there's feelings that arise for it, what is that feeling that we feel when something comes up, right? So when we as moms are taking care of everything and we are acting as CEO of our household and maybe CEO of your company, there's so much on our plates right now. And so being told, you need to practice self-care, it feels out of touch. It feels like you want me to do everything too. Now, I personally, when I hear self-care, I'm like, yeah, of course I need self-care. And I heard recently someone say, self-care is not meeting your basic needs. That's called maintenance. Well, for me, maintenance and meeting my basic needs is part of my self-care plan. My self-care doesn't stop at the maintenance, but that is part of it for me. So what I want to encourage is just the awareness of what is it for you. So yeah, moms are in crisis right now. We have so much going on. Most of us are on some kind of antidepressant or struggling severely or overwhelmed. There are very few moms right now that are feeling great, crushing it. Okay? If you're one of those moms that feels great, doesn't have any stress, that's awesome. I'm so excited for you. But that's unique right now. Most of us are feeling overwhelmed. Society has dumped everything onto moms. We found out a year ago, almost a year ago, that schools were going to be closing. We first thought it was going to be 2 weeks. And then we heard rumors, you know, it might take more like 8 weeks. And we're like, no. And then it was like, okay, till June. Like, what? But they'll be open in September. September came. It didn't open. Maybe November. Maybe January. Now, my children, I don't know about yours, but my children are in public school. And they're set to go back to school next week. And I can't even wrap my head around it because we've had so much to do. And I'm almost, Brene Brown talks about foreboding joy, and that's almost what I'm doing with my kids going back to school. I'm like, oh, I'm excited. I'm going to have more time. I'm like, no. Don't get excited. But it's just because I've been living this life for a year. And so I think when moms are offended, when they hear you need more self-care, I think it's because what they see is, no, I don't need more to do. I need community care. I need care. Don't tell me to do one more thing. I need help from the world. The world has dumped all of this onto my plate. And there was a tweet recently of the next person that says, I don't know how you do this. I'm going to lose my mind, because it's not like we have a choice. And that's exactly what it is. We don't have a choice. We are the stopgap to everything. And so we've been carrying that for a year. And it's not right. It's not okay. It's not normal. It is common. Most all of us are feeling it. It's not okay. So, where do we go from here? Let me just check my notes. Right. So, we start by acknowledging we have been screwed. We've been betrayed, right? Not okay what has happened to us, okay? Now, victimhood, we are victims of the society, choices that have been made by other people, the pandemic, all of these things. We are victims, but we can't stay in this victimhood, okay? Because that is toxic. When you hear, I don't know if you've read Hillbilly Elegy or like some other texts that are talking about when a person feels like the world is out to get them and they feel like a victim, they don't move. There's no movement in victimhood. You just sit and you're miserable, and that's the way it is. And that's not the way I want to live. That's not the way I want you to live. We're not going to stay in victimhood. But we do have to acknowledge this is not our choice. We cannot control the world. We can start to make incremental changes. Yes, we have power, but we cannot control the current narrative. We cannot control the past choices. We cannot control so-and-so's opinion. We can't control this person's opinion on the internet, that mom's opinion, that person that doesn't even have kids that needs to shut it. We can't control those things. We can't control the boss that says, why aren't you here? Aren't you dedicated? We can't control that, okay? So we need to acknowledge what exists and what we cannot control. We need to understand that even though we can't control all those things, that absolutely does not make us powerless. We have so much power. Every mother has a phoenix inside of them, just waiting. And that phoenix has been feeding us. You know, Lauren Brody Smith, she wrote The Fifth Trimester. She's amazing. And there was an article about the fact that like women for this year have basically been lifting the car off of their toddler or off of their child. And she made the comment that if 2020 was about lifting the car off of the kid, 2021 needs to be about recovery, because you can't do that work, that like extreme effort, without needing extreme recovery. And 2022 had better be about building a lighter car so that we don't have to do this. And what the pandemic has done is it has brought all of these inequalities to light. It hasn't it's increased them, but it's just increased things that were already there. So we need to think about that as a society. Now, bring it back to us today. Our power. So we pause and we think about what we can do, what we have power over. So again, I'm going to take another minute to just pause and do a deep breathing. You are powerful. This past summer, we're in the pandemic, right? And we had talked about maybe visiting my family in Kentucky. We live in Virginia. And the virus wasn't really too bad in rural Eastern Kentucky at that time. And I was not doing well, for lack of a better word. And my partner and I were discussing it, and he said, like, well, maybe you take the kids because you need more support, but like it's really hard for me to work in that environment. And I just froze and I couldn't really talk more about it. And we eventually got to talking more about it, and I said, I'm afraid to go without you because I might not come back, because I feel like I am on the brink of breaking. I don't feel like I can keep doing this. And when I hear people say the fall it's going to be fun, we got through it in the spring, the fall's just going to be another thing like that, I felt like I almost had a trauma response, because I was like, no, I cannot do another spring like that. That was awful for me. I can't do that. And so I was able to verbalize that and talk through that. But what did I need? Did I need a bubble bath? Absolutely not. Did I need to go shopping with my girlfriends? I mean, maybe that would have helped, but like I needed so much more than that. I needed something strong and something deep. So now I'm going to shift into like, what do moms need? Forget about the term self-care. Forget about all of the phrases. What do moms need? Now I'm going to list some things, and I want you to think about, what would you add to this list? Okay? Moms need care. Workplaces need an extreme influx of flexibility. I actually interviewed for a job last spring, and I was nailing the interview. It was going great. They were like, love your experience. I think you'll be great for this. And this was during the pandemic, right? And they said, we're looking for full-time, 9 to 5. And I said, well, my partner works for the state 9 to 5, and he doesn't have a lot of flexibility there. So I'm going to need a lot of flexibility. I'm really efficient. I can do all these things, but I need flexibility, and I'm concerned about getting in 40 hours, 9 to 5. That's just, I have a 4 and a 6-year-old. I can't do that. And I found out about this company because they were sponsoring a local women in tech organization. And so they were trying to get more diversity. And I was on the interview with a new hire that was a man. And I was talking about that. And the new hire said, I get it. I get wanting to spend time with your kids. I mean, I have 4 kids under 4. And I know it's hard, but I still lock myself in the study and I work from 9 to 5 every day. I get it that it's hard. You just got to do it. I miss them too. And I didn't have the gumption to say at the time, so who watches your kids? Is it your wife? Do you have a nanny? Because we're not supposed to have nannies right now if we're not essential employees at that time, right? And I was like, and, I followed up with email and said, thanks for chatting. I'd love to talk more about how we can work in some flexibility. And the response was, sorry, we really need somebody that's 9 to 5, 40 hours a week. Now guess how many new hires that they have hired have been female? They keep sponsoring these events. They keep saying they want more diversity. Are they doing anything, adjusting anything to get more diversity? No, absolutely not. Workplaces are failing, okay? We need, as moms, more flexibility in workplaces. We need our boundaries protected in the workplace. We need friends and families to come together, support us, offer help, give help without us asking. We need community support, okay? Not only do we need support from friends and family, we need boundaries respected. When you have to keep arguing with someone that you love over and over again about what you feel comfortable with and what you feel safe with, that is not helping you. So we need that. We need less on our plate. We need less responsibility right now, because right now we're responsible for everything, and everything is too much. We need affordable and easy childcare. It is so difficult to find childcare right now. It is hard without the pandemic. With the pandemic, it is like a full-time job finding childcare for your job. It's insane. Or just a break, just part-time care, because every mom needs a break. We need a break. That's on our list too. We need rest and we need recovery. We have just spent a year lifting a car, okay? We need space and rest to recover, and we need the tools, okay? Moms need to be witnessed and held. Innate Traditions is a group, I don't know if it's a company. Rochelle, I can't remember her last name right now, but she sort of runs that. And she talks about postpartum mothers being in this state of extreme vulnerability. And what they need is to be witnessed and held. Well, right now, all mothers are in this state. My sleep has never been worse since I had newborns. I am sleeping like I have a newborn now. My kids are 4 and 6, and sometimes they wake up, but usually it's me. It's stress, it's the mental load, it's all of the things, okay? So you don't need me to tell you this, but you need to be witnessed and held. Now, I've just given you a huge, huge list of things that you need. So what encompasses that list? Is there a word? Is there a phrase? Because that's a really big list of what moms need right now. For me, that word is care. But when you watch this video, I want to hear in the comments, is there a word or a phrase for you? I want to hear what that word is. Whatever your word is, I want you to hold it, breathe it in, breathe out. So my word is care. Replace care with whatever word you come up with. Now, we need care. You notice in all of those needs, how many of those things can we do? There's a lot on that list that we need from other people. But we can't control other people. We can't control corporations, friends and family, our spouse, our kids, the schools. We can't control those things. We can shift in us. We have power in us. So if the world has dumped everything onto our plate, but we know that we need all of these things and the world is not stepping up, we've got to push back. We can't keep doing all the things because we are sacrificing ourselves. And martyrdom is not the life that I want, and it's not the life I want for you. So, what do we do with this? There's hope coming. Stay with me. There is hope. First of all, you are not alone. You're not crazy. It's unreasonable what's been put on you. You're not crazy. You're not defective. You are perfectly adequate. And you've been given an impossible task. You cannot do all of the things that you have been doing. You are doing the impossible. And I don't tell you that to pacify you or make you wear it like a badge of honor. It's proof that you can do incredible things, okay? If you can do incredible things for everyone else, you're going to do incredible things for you too. The other thing that we know is we cannot rely on the world to fix this problem. We can't. They've proved to us that they cannot be trusted, okay? It shouldn't be our responsibility. But you're not alone. I'm here. You have a community, okay? Remember that. You're not doing it alone. We're doing it together, okay? Now, going back to our power and what we can do. Speak up. When someone in the workplace makes a comment about, oh, make sure you fill up your cup so that you can be productive, da, da, da. It's risky, but you could take that opportunity to say, gosh, I'm so glad you get it. It's really impossible what we're being asked to do right now. So when would you like to have a conversation about adding more flexibility in? This job is so important to me. And I know that all of the moms in our group are really struggling. So how can we have a conversation about lightening that load? Maybe you don't feel comfortable doing that in your workplace. And if that's the case, that's okay. Maybe you need to set boundaries with other people in your life. Maybe your spouse. Maybe it's your mother-in-law that calls and says, hey, hope you're taking time for yourself. I'll see ya. It's like, oh gosh, thank you so much for understanding how important that is. When can I bring the kids over? If they're vaccinated, if you're comfortable with that. If you're not comfortable with that, then maybe it's like, thank you so much for understanding. We'd love to have a date night. Let me know when you would be willing to help us pay for a sitter for that. That'd be great. Call people on it, because there is an expectation that you are going to handle your own self-care. That's not the case, okay? You cannot do it by yourself. You have to have help. So what can we do? Stand up, speak up for what we need, set boundaries. We can order more takeout, simplify our expectations, simplify our workload. If hiring a cleaner is on your agenda, or not on your agenda, but if that is in your wheelhouse of things that you have available to you, do it. If takeout is something you can do, do it. Pre-made meals, do it. If health is a concern with takeout, there are many different options to get pre-made food that is good, healthy. All food is good, but things that aren't going to spike your sodium levels or things like that. Now, one other thing that you can do that a lot of people are not doing is pausing relationships. Now, I don't mean all relationships, but that friend that when you talk to them, you love visiting with them, you love talking to them, but afterwards, you're drained. You have no energy, because it's not because there's something wrong with them, it's just the dynamic of that relationship. It creates stress and it drains you. Maybe you want to pause that for right now, okay? If you haven't already. I've paused a few of those. So pause those relationships, okay? We can say no. We can delete Facebook. The random person on the internet that's getting us all hyped up and getting all of this going that we don't need right now, we can close that off, okay? So there are a lot of things that we can do. Another thing that we can do is we can plan our day. Now, that is one more thing on your list. It is. But when you plan your day and you say, the kids have this going on, I have this, and there's this going on, and this going on, and this going on, at what point do you plan for yourself? Do you fit yourself in around everything else, or are you at the top of the list? You know what I'm going to say. Put yourself at the top of the list. Number one thing to schedule in for the day, for the week, however time frame works for you. Where can I get what I need? And let me be clear, we're not going to get everything we need, okay? We're just trying to get a little bit. And so where are you on that priority list? Because you need to be at the top, right? So that's something we can do. Now, if you're resisting what I'm talking about, take a deep breath. Is there fear? What are you afraid of? What can you learn from that fear? What is it telling you? Are you afraid that this would make you a bad mom? Are you afraid your children will fall behind? Are you afraid your family's health is going to suffer? You're going to lose your job? What are you afraid of? Okay? Lean in to what you're afraid of. Get it on paper. Pen to paper is really powerful. Figure it out. And you can investigate it. You can just set it aside. Once you do that fear process, breathe it in, breathe it out, and set it to the side until you're ready to come back to it. Okay? Don't let it keep spinning in here. Just push it away. Not push it away, but set it to the side. You can come back to it. So, now, I hope you're taking this opportunity to check in with yourself as I'm looking at my notes. I want to leave you with a word of encouragement and gratitude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time. This has been 28 minutes so far. 28 minutes for you. If you had 28 minutes today to spend on you, you have 28 minutes that you can spend on you. So if this talk today wasn't nourishing to you, at least you know you have 28 minutes for something that could be nourishing to you. Okay? You are enough. You are a good mom. You're a great mom. You're doing really hard things right now. And the life that is yours was a gift to you from the universe, from your higher power, whatever your belief system is, it was a gift to you. It doesn't have to be squandered and sacrificed for everything else. It has been. This year has been awful. But you are enough. You're a great mom. And I thank you for coming. You're so powerful. You have so much power in you. Now, hopefully you'll tune back in tomorrow. Hopefully I haven't scared you away. And also, I want this to be a dialogue. I want us to have some back and forth on this. So please comment. Is there anything that resonated with you? Is there anything that you were like, oh no, I can't believe you said that? You know, are you just like, whatever. I got bored and I turned it off. That's fine too. I just want to hear from you. Dialogue. It's important. Creates connection over interaction. So, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to hear from you soon.